What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Krusty Krab pizza. Can we talk about how Red Bull and I were going back and forth today like 4 times in the same thread?
Did you really?
Yeah, let me find it. It was
we are just best buds with them.
Best buds. It was when I posted the trophy for this weekend.
Yes. And
I just put like the trophies, and then they responded with like, and this emoji, and then a picture of Max doing this. And I said, exactly, LOL. And I said, thought it was some abstract thumbs up emoji at first. I said, or some melted down Lego.
We are just best buds with them.
And then at the same time, when they commented, they were like in Italy. I said, where's the pasta? Gelato?
Wait, I just want to point this out because I think it's funny, because now I'm looking at my own Threads profile. So I posted on Sunday. I said, apologies on the silence during the race, but Underground F1 and I were preparing for our first live show, right? That was 2 days ago, and I haven't posted anything.
No, you're still quiet.
I'm like, hey, sorry for the silence for about an hour and a half, and then it's 2 days and it's nothing.
But I'm still going to be silent for... Well, I was just looking at my phone, and I already have so much content, I feel like, in my phone from today, because there's so many different announcements.
Oh, yeah.
And the Ferrari and stuff, and it's not even race week yet. Tomorrow, there's even more. Thursday, media day. Bring it on. I need to clean out my phone.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
After a minute and 45 seconds of nonsense, which is probably a little bit longer than normal. But
no, because that was better, because on Sunday, when we just had to, like... Start?
Oh, we totally yeah.
It's like,
did not
no.
like that.
I was like, I can't just start like this. So you need a cold open.
Welcome to episode 74 and a half?
Or 75?
Or 75?
I don't know. We'll come back next week with the real number.
Yeah, next week's episode will have the real number. The reason we're saying that is just because if you haven't seen, we did our first live episode this past weekend. We did it at the awesome Human Robots Google Banks. Where we did our race recap. So normally what we would do is we watch the race on Sunday, we record on Tuesdays, which is today, and we do our race recap. If it's needed, we do a race preview, stuff like that. But race recap was immediately following the race. We'll talk about the live episode a little bit later, and we'll talk about it there and everything. But yes, that's why this episode is going to flow a little bit differently. But not really. We're still getting started with Meme of the Weeks. And we'll go into weekly news. Thank you.
There's a lot.
Think of it for a second. F1 decided to actually play nice with us and release news for this day instead of doing it tomorrow after we record.
Well, and I posted today. I posted last night. I said, watch Ferrari release. There's something special about this week while I'm in my workout class. Literally, I am getting ready to leave this morning, and they posted it. And I was like, yes, thank you. So I was able to post it before I went.
So we'll do our weekly news. We'll jump into the live recap, and then we'll do a championships standings updates. And then we'll do our favorite news segment, F1Threads Mailbags.
And we have a lot of questions this week.
We do have a lot of questions. I was checking them out before we started. So then we'll do our lovely Monza preview. And we'll go from there.
And I forgot to ask before. I sound okay, right?
Yes, you sound good. Do I sound okay?
Yeah, you sound fine. Perfect. I do miss the way I was able to hear myself speak on Sunday.
Right?
That's so nice. I could hear the audio. That was so nice.
Yeah,
I don't know how I can make that happen.
I'm sure there's a way you could do it. But all right, do you want to jump right into it and go to your meme?
Yes. So my meme of the week, if obviously Monza week, as we said, Ferrari always brings us some special. They normally go all out. Special shirts, hats, race suits, livery, helmets. We're still waiting on the livery and the helmets. Well, the helmets you can see a little bit in one of the pictures today. But
I saw that preview picture.
Yeah, we got the race suits, and it's a little busy. It's a little busy. So my meme of the week is from the what's it called? When they posted it on social media on Instagram. The amazing Gina Alessi, the French motorsport racing driver, just comments horrible on the Ferrari's Instagram post. I saw it first and I was like, is this real? And his comment didn't have a lot of likes. So when I first went clearly, so I kept having to scroll. I was like, oh my God, did someone Photoshop this? And then when I found it, I literally was sitting at my desk at work cracking up because it's just point blank. It's just exactly what a lot of fans are feeling. It's just straight up horrible.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, the funny part about it is, like you're saying, it's just that there's no, deliberation on it. It's just, this sucks.
One word. One word, and that word is horrible. Yeah.
I might have a hot take here. I like the black and yellow suits.
You like the race suits?
I like the race suits.
We can get to it later, because we'll talk about it more, but
I think they look sleek. I think the carbon fiber, this design on it is a little odd. I think that's where it starts breaching into the element of okay, maybe they're doing a little too much on here, especially with, all the sponsors and everything on the front. But in terms of just it being black and yellow, I like it. I like it a lot.
No, I like the black and yellow a lot. I love the t-shirts. I love the hats. I love the race boots. It's the checkered board top with that weird, whatever is on the pants. It just doesn't, and in some lighting, the checkerboard, some of the squares look green. So it just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting some weird discoloration, it's gonna look weird. But
they should have just done plain black on top, or fade that pattern out a little more. But yeah, so that was my meme of the week.
Would have been good.
Yeah, on to Owens. Oh my God,
mine. This is so good. This is so good. There's a reason why it's so good, and it's not because it's Logan. All right, so obviously
it's because of who's in the corner. I can see.
Yes. And if you can already tell by the hair, I'm really proud of you, first of all. But that's why I'm picking this one. So obviously, we'll talk about this in a little bit. Logan Sargeant was let go today by Williams Racing. They called up an F2 driver. I am blanking on the name. I feel so bad.
Franco Colapinto. We literally just talked about his name.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember his first name. Sorry. Franco Colapinto is going to be driving for them the rest of the season. So now there's this picture of Logan joining just a bunch of past drivers who have been retired and or kicked out and everything. Yeah, fired. But in the bottom corner, there is a little bit of a head sticking up, and the hair looks suspiciously familiar. And I looked it up. That's Lance Stroll's head.
Oh, it's Lance Stroll? I would have thought that was. I thought that was going to be joke on you.
No. That is Lance Stroll's hair. I just confirmed it before we started. So that is why I'm picking this meme. I love it. Thank you, Formula Dank.
Thank you, Formula Dank. His go-to.
It's a great place. It's a great place.
It's a great place. Why you say that? It's a great place.
It's a great place.
It's a great place. But yes, meme of the week. We actually had. I had one. I could have probably done a lot, 12, but one episode in the off season, we should just do F1 memes.
All just memes the entire episode.
Just memes that describe the entire year. That's all we should do. Someone put together a collage of all the breaking news posts that we've had just since Lewis. So I think Drive Survive needs to be 20 episodes long. Just do one about each driver at this point.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff for them to cover this year in Drive to Survive. There's no way they're going to hit it all.
No. And they're going to miss some big points. Watch them not even talk about Lewis during Ferrari. Just be I'm sorry, what?
There's no way.
I know.
I would say, if anything, they won't talk about Logan. I'd say if they're going to miss anything, they're not going to. They'll
they're going to talk about Logan because they've talked about him in the last year because he's the first American driver in how long?
Oh, true. Yeah, that's fair.
So they're going to talk about him because it's going to be roped in with Carlos signing at Williams. That's how it's going to be roped in.
Yes. Yeah. So, good point.
Yeah.
All right. I stand corrected.
Yeah. But yes, weekly news. And before we get started, as always, at the bottom of the screen as it scrolls, please use code Underground10 only Vals is starting you over when you're shopping at ipf1store.com for 10% off. Some, as we like to, it's the coolest hand-drawn, handmade pieces of artwork that you could get in all different ways. Pieces of art for the wall, for your desk, for your coffee, your travel coffee, your hats, t-shirts, anything. And he's always adding new pictures, so
always adding stuff.
So like anything relevant. So this upcoming weekend, I'm sure there'll be one added after Monza, depending on what happens. So there's always stuff being added. But yes, please use, like I said, the code. It will be scrolling on the bottom of the screen the entire episode if you're watching us on YouTube. But for the visual listeners, it's Underground10. Only Vals is starting you at ipf1store.com.
Yes, you can also find the code in our episode descriptions and whatnot. And also on our link tree, which is in our social media.
Thanks, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I guess we can start with Jack. We can go backwards and work our way up to what's newer.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of drivers leaving, drivers coming.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. Well, so we'll start it off. So, Friday, Jack Doohan was confirmed to be coming and joining Alpine for the 2025 season. Obviously, the team will then be Pierre Gasly and will then be Jack Doohan. Which I don't...
I like that duo.
I like the duo. I think I like it more so because of what we said before about Alpine, where it's kind of just like, hey, you're so stuck in one spot that it's just try something new, So it's like, all right, call up a young driver. I wouldn't be shocked if Alpine's kind of thinking hopefully same track as like Oscar Piastri is like, hey, like he's going to come up for the first season, might struggle a little bit, get his feet under him for his rookie season. Second season, obviously much better performance, stuff like that. Maybe that's what they're thinking. They are both Australian. So,
well, that was the joke. As soon as Jack was announced, everyone's like, Alpine finally got their Australian driver.
Yes, finally got their Australian driver. There were no issues with it. No,
but shout out to Alpine for owning the joke. And
as they should.
Before the announcement was officially out there saying it's with however Oscar started his infamous
It's to my
tweet.
understanding that without my consent, Alpine said that I'd be driving for him next year. Yeah. That is untrue. As embarrassing as a moment that is for Alpine, the fact that they are owning the joke and just kind of like buying into it, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, as they should. And I've seen content, like Alpine's posted content before with Jack and Pierre, and they seem to get along. So it will be.
Well, I mean, anything's better than their current pairing.
Oh, yeah.
So, anything. I mean, Jack and Pierre could like share a smile and like shake hands, and people would be like, it's a better pairing than Esteban and Pierre. It's like, well, yeah. I mean, it's a good move. I think it's nice. I think, we won't, obviously, was the first time, I think, in Formula One history, I think is what we said, where the grid stayed the same going from one season to the next. Obviously, that is untrue.
Very untrue.
Yeah, not even with Jack, but getting a new rookie up into the grid and everything and getting them used to it and driving and whatnot. Yeah, get some fresh blood in there. Yeah. So
no, I agree.
I like it.
I agree. And it'll be those Australia GP tickets. That race is back to starting off the entire season.
Oh, yeah.
Those tickets, I mean, if you're having Daniel, Oscar, and Jack all on the grid, Oscar at this point having a chance of winning the Australia GP, like, that's going to be a loud crowd. And they always are loud, but that'll be a great season opener.
Yeah, I was listening to F1 Nation and Will Buxton was interviewing Jack, and he was asking, like, how do you feel now that your first race is also going to be your home race? And he was like, he started cracking up because he was like, it's definitely going to be nerve-wracking. Like, it's going to be so insane. But he's like, I'm going to be so, like, just honored, like, in that moment and everything. And, like, so proud, like, just so happy in that moment. So
it has to be so cool.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's a great guy. Like we said, we mentioned before, Mark's got a great article with him.
Yeah.
Great conversation with Jack. And it's exciting to see. You know, I
mean, F1 TV was in mourning the other day because they always have like one of the reserve drivers do like post-race, post-quality stuff with them. And Jack is very good to listen to. Like, he has good analysis and stuff.
He's a very good conversationalist and like analyzer. Yeah.
Very, very good. So Will Buxton, I thought, was going to cry. He was like, we're losing another one.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
People are like, okay, who are you going to get next? We can figure it out. There's another one coming.
To find another one, yeah.
Yeah. I also, what's his name? Jack posted on TikTok a very cute photo because, as everyone knows, Jack's dad and Michael Schumacher were very, very good friends.
Yes.
I mean, Mick is literally named after Jack's dad.
Yes.
He posted like a very nice picture of like sitting on Michael Schumacher's lap when he was younger, and then it was like dream come true to then like when they announced him the other day. So yeah. Very, very cool. It's fun watching, especially him. He's been sitting in those wings for so long.
Oh yeah, he's been ready to go for quite some time now.
It's like him and Liam Lawson. They've been ready to go. Like they are ready to go. Put them in the car, and I do think Jack will perform. So it'll be interesting to see with new leadership at Alpine and a new driver.
Yeah,
that's not causing tensions within the team between the drivers. It should be.
I wonder if, now that we have this news confirmed, I wonder if Alpine's Drive to Survive episode will be surrounding Pierre and Esteban. Obviously, you have the highlight of the Monaco race where you get that accident, and then they go into Jack doing and everything a little bit, you know?
I think so. I think, well, with the way this is racking up, I think we could, because I feel like maybe not that, they may talk about Jack being signed,
right?
But 2026, when that season comes out, covering 2025, I think we get an episode like we got for the 2019 rookies. Because I think there was one that was like Lando, George, and Alex Albon. So I think we'll get Jack, we'll get
Kimmy,
Ollie. Well, Ollie will be next year, but yeah, we'll get Jack. We should get Kimmy. So yeah, well, Kimmy also should be next year. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they'll be.
It's a good class coming in. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but very exciting to see. Speaking of Kimi Antonelli, we are waiting for the worst kept secret to be announced. And I mean, Toto Wolff, the man himself, kind of leaked it to, I think, German press the other day. Because why not? But we do know that Kimi Antonelli will be making his Mercedes F1 team debut in Monza this week. He'll be driving George's car during FP1. So it's kind of interesting they're making him drive George's car.
Yeah, that is.
You would think they would want him to drive Lewis so they could get like comparison, but
yeah, between the two of them.
Yeah, but everyone is. I mean, Kimi Antonelli, he is Italian. I mean, his name is Andrea Kimi Antonelli. He's the most. That would be the most Italian name ever.
Very. Hugely Italian name. Yeah.
So it's a very strong rumor that they are also announcing him in the 2025 seat next to George for next year. So that could also come. I don't know when. I would maybe before FP1 or maybe following FP1, and they have someone that because he'll be there, so he'll be able to. Well, it's also F2 weekend, so they have to make sure he's available for. So it could even be Thursday, and then he has to do all his Thursday media.
His F2 stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see him driving officially. I was getting the graphic together because I know this news is going to break while we're still asleep. Like, we'll wake up to it. So I was making the graphic. I was prepping it. He is so young looking.
Oh, he's a child. He looks like a child.
He's a child. I mean, he is young. How old is
he's 17 right now. Or he's
17
or he's just freshly 18 because
he's just freshly 18 like 2 days ago. August 25th. Yeah.
Yeah, literally 2 days ago as we record. He just turned 18.
Yeah. He's freshly an adult.
Yeah. And he's going to get signed and announced as for one of the biggest F1 teams.
Yeah. I mean, Toto has said he does not want to miss his chance at the next Max Verstappen. So
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. But yeah,
you sign a young talent like that, you give him time to learn and grow and everything, you could have very, very Max Verstappen-esque drive on your hands.
And everyone's saying that like William or Mercedes dulls down their expectations for next year because then they give him a year to settle in. But like after the way they've come back this season, why would you want to dull down your expectations?
Yeah, but I would also say dull down the expectations too, just because of the new regulations in 2026. So it's like, give him a year to kind of get settled in, but then it's like, how much of the new regulations does that kind of blow out of the water, him getting settled in? Like this, he's going to get all this time next year driving this certain type of car, and then his second year in the sport, it's going to be, hey, here's this brand new car that you gotta relearn how to drive.
Yeah, but yeah, will be interesting. Excited for him. George will officially be the mentor on that team.
Veteran.
Yeah. But going to George's old team, some sad news today. Some very, very sad news today.
We knew it was coming.
Yeah, it was also the worst kept secret in F1. I feel like all these rumors have been very true. Timing is a little weird. It's like, why did you even make him come back and drive in Zandvoort after summer break? Just kick him to the curb. But
just give him one more chance. But
yeah, but Logan Sargeant was officially let go today. Weirdly enough, Williams announced his replacement before even saying Logan was fired.
Yes. Yeah,
it was very strange. But they announced that current F2 Franco Colapinto will be racing the remainder of the F1 calendar this season in Williams. He'll be using number 43. Now, I looked it up. I screenshot. I can bring it up. I looked up his, points where he is. He's 6th right now in the F2 championship. Because someone was like, how is he good? Well, I was like, I mean, F2 to F1 is very different. So
yeah, it's such a big jump. I mean,
yeah.
Even look at Logan. Logan was a winner in F2, and has suffered in F1. But
he finished 4th in Formula 3 last year. So, and he was announced to the driver academy last year. So yeah, I mean, I think he's a part of their driver academy. So he was an easy fill-in,
right?
Because that's what there was all this speculation about. If it was going to be Liam,
I heard
it was going to be Mick.
Liam rumors, yeah.
Yeah. So Liam was, I think, going to be the person because people were saying they saw James go over to the Red Bull hospitality this past weekend, and Red Bull said yes, but with the clause that they could call him back at any time.
Yeah.
And Williams was like, no.
A race, and then Red Bull could be like, get back.
Well, apparently there's things that Red Bull's going to refigure things out after Singapore. I guess depending on points, I guess with Checo and Daniel, move those ones around. But then that's what I'm saying. If for some reason Checo's kicked to the curb, Daniel moves up, then they're like, if Liam's driving for Williams, they could be like, okay, Liam, come back. And then Williams would be without anyone.
Yeah.
So
all right.
James wasn't happy with that. Mick was a very big name as well. But he's also in WEC, and they drive this weekend in Coda.
True.
So I don't know what the rest of their schedule is like, so it wasn't gonna work out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they decided to go with Franco Colapinto, who's F2, so he'll be at half of these races at the end of the season anyway. Right. So might as well just bring him up into the big car. Yeah. It's good. The only thing is, people are saying what if he kills it? He goes back to F2 next year. Because Carlos is coming. Yeah.
Oh, boy. That is...
Yeah.
I mean, either way, Williams is in a tough situation. So it's like, I agree with what you're saying of the whole Liam thing with Red Bull kind of pulling him back. Then you have Mick with Mercedes and WEC and everything. And it's calling up Franco. And then there's the potential that he kills it. And then he goes back down to F2. It would suck for Franco, that. I can't imagine getting finally getting that call up to, the sport that I'm assuming he's been chasing his entire life, and wants to get to. And you finally get that call up only to think okay, I'm going to go back down at the end of the year, regardless of kind of how I perform. But I mean, that shouldn't dissuade him from performing well or trying to perform well.
Yeah.
You know, he can make his case. This is, to him, I mean, look at it as like a tryout for Williams and other teams. You know, like, you know, this is my 9 chances now to show that I'm worth being up here in F1. You know?
Well, because since he gets to finish the last 9 races in an F1 seat, next year he can't do an FP1 in an F1 team because they have to complete more than, or they have to have not completed more than 2 races in F1. So he will be, that's why Liam hasn't been able to drive in any of the FP1 sessions this year because of how many races he did drove in last year. So yeah, this might be a downfall, but I mean, if you have 9 races on your resume and say you end up in the points like 9th and 10th once or twice in that Williams.
Oh yeah. You get in the points. He gets in the points 3 times with the 9. No, you know what? That feels too much in my head. If he gets in the points 2 times in these last 9 races, he did his job.
Mm-hmm.
He did a very good job of coming in, doing what he needed to do, just surviving in the car, and hey, every once in a while, it's hey, I'm in the points.
Yeah,
you know, there you go.
Or just have clean races. Don't put it in the wall. Yeah, just clean races.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Logan is gone. I do feel bad.
Yeah.
I feel like I hope he goes to IndyCar.
I think he would be good in IndyCar.
Well, I think Tasia and I have been talking about this. I think he would be good for IndyCar, and IndyCar would be good for him.
Yeah.
Because you have someone in F1 who has a following coming over to IndyCar who is a homegrown American. Like, the first race of the season in IndyCar would technically be his hometown race. It's in Florida. Yeah. So, like, that would be cool. And if it's with Prima, that'd be great.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be shocked, but I think it would be a good move for him. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've seen it. People that have not had great F1 careers go to IndyCar and thrive.
Yep.
I mean, Romain Grosjean's still going. Marcus Ericsson won the Indy 500. Like, Alexander Rossi's won the Indy 500. Like, it's.
Could you imagine if Logan goes to
and won the Indy 500?
Wins the Indy 500. Oh,
could you imagine? God. That'd be the biggest middle finger.
Oh, that'd be so good. That'd be such a power move from him.
So good.
So fuck you. I'm gonna go win the Indy 500.
I'm gonna go win the pinnacle of American motorsports over here. Excuse me. But yes, Alex did put a nice little post out for Logan. I was gonna read it because Williams really didn't give him They posted like 3 sentences.
Yeah.
Like, I know maybe by the end the team was over him.
Yeah.
But like, there's also, when he crashed on Saturday, when there was, I think, one news outlet, James was like, no, he's okay. He just kept talking about the damage to the car. That was a nasty crash.
Yeah, that was a brutal crash.
Yeah. But Alex posted on Instagram, I know firsthand how brutal this sport can be, and it's tough to see Logan leave the team mid-season. You gave it all your brother. It's been a pleasure being teammates with you. I know whatever you do next will be awesome. I mean, he is the perfect person to know.
Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah, he absolutely gets it. Pierre gets it. Like, Nick DeVries gets it. There's drivers out there that are fully, like, yeah, I get it. I'm sorry. I've went through it. Now you're going through it. But
yeah. I would love to know, like, how many drivers maybe reached out to Logan today and been like, hey, man, like, sorry about the news. Hope you,
well,
land on your feet or, whatever,
There were articles, I think, last year or something, saying he wasn't close with many on the grid. I don't know if they didn't really try to get to know him, but, like, I know him and Oscar have been close.
Yeah.
Like, they've raced each other their entire childhood. So I can see him reaching out. I'm sure. Who was he with in the drivers? Oh, I think he was in the drivers parade the other day. It was like Carlos and Oscar were talking to him most of the time. So I'm sure there were some drivers that reached out. I mean, they have that famous WhatsApp group message they've talked about before. So that's someone true. Was like, is George Russell currently kicking Logan Sargeant out of the group?
Yeah, like who's doing that? Who's making that?
It's George.
Move?
He's in charge of the drivers, like, government or whatever they call, remember?
Oh, so that means he governs that group chat too?
That's his, like, one of his duties, I think.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah, that's a tough tough spot.
There was a meme, and it was like, there was a meme. Someone made like a fake chat, and it was like, from George, sorry, Logan, just heard the news, gutted. And then it was like, Logan's been removed from the chat. Franco Colapinto has been added to the chat. Hey, Franco, congrats. That's ruthless. I don't think George Russell is ruthless like that, but you never know.
He would not do that.
No. But yeah, so Logan is sadly gone. I hate to say it, but if anyone ever tells me that Carlos was fired, I'm going to say no. Logan was fired. Logan was fired. Like, full, legit fired. That's the difference. Yeah. But yes, that was our, what was that? Weekly news. Wow, you couldn't think of weekly news? I can't think of weekly news.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Brutal out here.
All right, so before we jump into our live show recap, which is still...
No, do you want to do a live show recap, then do what I know you're going into before we do the championship points?
I was going to start with the championship points.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So saying live show recap, that's such a weird sentence to think about. But before we jump into that, obviously, this is our first race coming back from the summer break. We wanted to do a championship drivers and constructors points update for you guys, just to let you know where we stand now.
And they're close.
It's getting close. I am doing this update, though, through our lovely new friends at BoxBox. They just released 5.0 version of their application. It is now available on both Android and iOS. It is fantastic. It is so much fun to use. It's such a wealth of information.
I love changing the designs between the different widgets. Like when you hold it and you edit, there's like 4 to choose from now sometimes. I'm like,
it's so much fun. And they have so many different widgets too. It's literally like, let me know how my favorite driver is doing. Let me know how my favorite constructor is doing. Let me just know how the team that I like, overall is doing. Both drivers and the team. That's in one widget. How far are we through the season? When's the next race? Like all this information. What's the current headlines of the sport? It's just like so much.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. They posted today that they were working on adding Franco Colapinto. So they're
on it. They're so good. And it's honestly, we've said it multiple times, but they're such an amazing app. It's built by fans for fans, and it's so worth it. So please, if you guys like us and you like to support us, but also want to support this amazing app, please go download BoxBox on iOS or Android right now, and you can use code Underground30, similar to the IPF1 store code. Only Val is the leading U. It is Underground30, and you can get 30% off their Ultra plan. This plan just unlocks so much more. It removes all the ads from the application, which is great. And it gives you awesome, if you have an Apple Watch like faces and complications. So all those widgets we just talked about, you can get them on your watch. So it's awesome. The code is in the link in our description. Like I said, for the audio listeners, it is Underground30. The Only Val is the leading U. So please go and support them. We're going to jump into the Drivers' Championships and Constructors' Championships update right now. I'll start with drivers, and I'm only going to do top 10. So in first, we still have Max Verstappen with 295 points.
not by a lot.
Not by a lot. Following pretty closely behind him is a Mr. Lando Norris in second place with 225 points. The fact that that's the happening, I'm thrilled about. So it's great to see. So this is now where this like 3rd to 8th right here is extremely close.
It's like that battle for 4th place last year.
Yeah. So in 3rd, we have Charles Leclerc. He's leading the pack right now of that 3rd to 8th group with 192 points. Not far behind him is Oscar Piastri in 4th with 179 points. Go ahead.
Hold on. You realize he's not that far behind Lando, right?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm just saying that gap is closer than,
Yeah.
Even closer to Oscar than Oscar is to Charles is Carlos Sainz in 5th with 172 points. Right behind him, Lewis Hamilton with 154 points. Right behind him, it's like literally, it's just boom, 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 boom.
They're
Sergio
so
Perez
close.
in 7th with 139 points. Right behind him is George Russell in 8th, closing out this pack with 122 points.
Yeah, there's a drop off.
Yeah, it's a big drop off. Now, like, I know if you look like top to bottom, okay, so Charles is leading that group with 192. George is trailing that group with 122. That's a difference of 70 points. Like, that's the
difference if George wasn't disqualified.
Right. But when you think about it, like, all it takes is an Oscar bad race where he DNFs and Carlos to get first, and he jumps up how many people? Like, it's so wild right now. We had a question a couple weeks ago where somebody was like, why? What reason should I watch the remaining races of this year? This 3rd to 8th group is exactly why, because it is such a tight battle. So like you mentioned, Case, there's a little bit of a drop off after that. So in 9th, we have Fernando Alonso. He's with 50 points. And then in 10th, we have Lance Stroll with 24 points. Everybody below that is still kind of in that same grouping of like super close. All the points matter for them. But it's not like a major kind of swing here and there. It's obviously they're fighting for, 10th or better, 10th or worse, I should say. So I won't cover them. But jumping over to the teams, this is where things get interesting.
Even closer.
Yes. So in first place, we have Red Bull. They are leading the grid right now with 434 points.
Woo!
30 points behind them. That is one driver finishing first, and they are right there.
Yes.
Is McLaren with 404 points. They are 30 points behind them. This battle of Constructors Championships, and I know what you're thinking, Casey, and I'll get to it in a second.
No, I'm not thinking that.
Is so tight between these two guys. But not far behind McLaren. Again, same thing of all it takes is one of their drivers finishing first is Ferrari in 3rd with 370 points. This first to third battle is
good.
So much. It's good.
And so imagine good. If Ferrari brings those upgrades this weekend and they work well,
and we have
9 races to go, and Charles goes on his streak of top 4 finishes like he did last year at the end of the season, yeah, we're in for a treat.
So with teams, it's the fall off kind of happens right there. Because following Ferrari in 4th place, you have Mercedes, and they have currently 276 points. And then it's a really big fall.
Yeah, it is 200 points almost.
Yeah. In 5th place, you have Aston Martin with 74 points. In 6th place, you have V-Carb with 34 points. In 7th place, you have Haas with 27 points. In 8th place, you have Alpine with 13 points. In 9th place, you have Williams with 4 points. And sitting there
so sad,
dead last with a big old goose egg, Kick Sauber. They have 0 points for the season.
Someone check on that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
They might be the only team we don't get an episode on.
I mean, if they don't score any points, they don't deserve an episode.
No, they don't deserve an episode.
That's that.
They don't deserve an episode. But yeah, it's much watched TV every single race from now until the end. With the way Red Bull is slowly falling off, the way McLaren looks like Red Bull of last year, winning by 20 seconds. Oh, that was going to be my other meme of the week. When Charles asks Max in the cooldown room and says, how far behind were you? And he says like 20, 22 seconds. And Charles goes through an internal crisis. He's literally like, people were like, he was like, crap, now we have to catch up to McLaren and Red Bull. But it's Max and going, right.
That's the thing. It's just like,
they say very little words, but we know exactly what they are thinking the entire time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, it's every single race from here on out is much watched TV. Like
it's critical.
It's critical. Yeah, every point matters. Every pit stop matters. Every qualifying strategy matters. Yeah, it's It's fun, people. This season's could be memorable.
You know what makes it just even more fun? Watching it from Human Robot, Scoogle Banks location.
Scoogle Banks.
And hanging around for a live show recap following it. I will say this. I'm so happy that we got in the door with Human Robot. Yeah. And even if we weren't hosting watch parties or anything or doing anything there, I would still go there and watch races because the crowd that comes in to watch it they're so invested and they're so good. They're so much fun to watch with. Everybody's a blast to talk to. Everybody's
when people
respectful and happy to be there, it's awesome.
When people bring their own little iPads so they can see the live telemetry and gaps in front of them, you're with a good crowd.
Oh yeah, you're with real
good
real
fans. Yeah, no, it's good drinks, good company. Yeah, and they're awesome to work with.
Yes.
And then being able to have our first ever live show, which Owen and I were very, very nervous. And when that race was a little boring in the middle, we literally had 4 things written down.
Yep.
2 were about Lando.
Yeah, we had started that shared note because we were like, all right, this way at least we can talk about things. We have something to reference as we're talking and everything. And yeah, we were 50 laps into that race, and we were like, shit, we got nothing. We
did good. We talked for 45 minutes. We had
we talked about 45 minutes. We did 2 pints and pit stops,
which were
the
great.
First ever 2 live pints and pit stops, which I absolutely loved. I mean, the amount of just joy that was going through me as I'm sitting there reading off those questions to our volunteers who came up and everything. I was just like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Shout out to Rodrigo and shout out to Dave for being our first ever live guest pints and pit stops participants and winners. I posted today or yesterday, I said, I think it's safe to say that Dave, so I tagged him, I said, is the first official F1Threads family member to do pints and pit stops with us.
Yeah,
so it was so much fun. It was the best was when you said, yeah, it's just normal driver trivia, and then it was deep cut driver trivia.
Well, you know what? Listen, I really got to set a baseline for
I could have questions. That probably would have been the best 2 rounds of my life.
Probably.
The only one, Yuki's height would have only been the one I probably would have not been.
I thought Yuki's height was a little bit of an easier question because you can picture him in your mind and then take a guess, take a stab at it, But it was an absolute blast. Again, if anybody from there is listening, Human Robot, thank you so much for having us out, letting us do the live recording afterwards. It was a blast. I like you said, the drinks there are fantastic. It's just it was so much fun. It's such a blast, and the crowd there is awesome. So
such a cool location in the city. You're along the river. The skyline's literally right behind you. Yeah. It is. Yeah. Hopefully we can have some more. Try to figure it out. But Eagle's schedule is going to get in the way of some of these upcoming races that are good times for us, unfortunately. But we'll make it work. If not, the end of the rest of this year, we'll definitely be back.
Oh yeah,
next year for sure. Like we said, they're so much fun to work with. We can't thank them enough for letting us discover a bar that's technically, I would even say, an F1 bar in the city.
Yeah,
in Philadelphia, and being able to work with them. So,
I mean, the fact that they hang race schedule up in there, they have F1 inspired merch with clothes and glasses in there, and like I said,
the stickers.
And the stickers, and the fact that they said, even when the Eagles are on, which if you know Philadelphia, you know that is the lifeblood of this city is the Eagles. The fact that they said, when the Eagles are on, we're going to have the Eagles on some TVs, but then if there's a race on, we're still putting the race on. It's you're an F1 bar.
Yeah, if you're splitting your time between the Philadelphia Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles, and F1, you're an F1 bar.
You're an F1 bar.
Yeah, which we absolutely love because, like I said, remember the first time we had our watch party, I was like, there's this many F1 fans in the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I never would have known. But yes, so thank you to Human Robot, as always, again. Moving on to our favorite segment that we have added to the show.
Yes,
because
I love this.
The Threads is the best social media network. I think we are definitely biased, but it's our favorite. But this is our F1Threads Mailbag.
Yes, and this segment of the episode is brought to you by our new partner, Duracell, with their portable power stations. From the #1 trusted battery brand, Duracell Portable Power Stations and charging hubs allow you to power your laptops, mobile devices, light speakers, and any small electronics that make your life easier during a power outage or while you're away from a wall outlet. Please click the link in the description below. There is no code, unlike our other sponsors with this, guys. This is the link in the description below. Get it in the episode notes. Get it in the episode description on YouTube. And go check out the Duracell Portable Power Stations, including their 2024 Red Dot award-winning M150 and M250 models, and untether your device charging from the wall and power the possibilities with Duracell Portable Power Stations. Thank you to Duracell for sponsoring this segment. We love it.
Thank you, Duracell. Thank you. Okay. I have the questions up. I'm going to ask Dave's last because that's the one I think we could spend a little bit more time. I tagged you in his.
Got it. Oh, yeah, you did.
So I'll just scroll through. So this one we've kind of answered a few times before, but I think now that McLaren just won again, there's even more of a yes to this answer.
Yeah.
This is from Sabrina. With Red Bull's dominance is over, ? Can McLaren win the Constructors title? I think at this point it's theirs to lose.
I'm glad you said it that way because I was going to say the same thing. It's definitely theirs to lose. Which I don't want to talk about because I don't just want to manifest it to happening. Yeah. But it's definitely at this point, it's no longer a guarantee that it's Red Bull's. Yeah. I know that there's still some hesitation to say that the drivers' championship is up in the air and could potentially go to Lando. But I do really think that the Constructors' Championship is anyone's game right now, specifically Red Bull or McLaren's.
At the rate that McLaren is going, and at the rate of if they continue to have dominant wins like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, we talked about this quickly, but Oscar was stuck behind Charles. But I do think if Oscar was able to get in front of Charles, he was catching up because there was a ton of clean air, and we saw how fast Lando was driving in that clean air. Yep. So if Oscar got around Charles and took off in that clean air, he was easily catching Max. Easily.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
So, yeah, I think at this point, it'll be shocking if McLaren was to fumble and not win. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I think it's hers. Moving on to Chris. She wanted to come to the live show so bad. She's kind of local, so if we have another watch party, she'll be there for sure. Oh, yeah. So this is, I don't know if you saw the video. Oh, we did watch it when we were at the watch party and stuff. It's when it was the 5 wide.
Oh, the 5 wide going around turn 14?
Yeah, what did you think of the move? Because it was both Aston Martin's Pierre and Alex on K-Mag. So she's asking, what did you think of the move on them?
From a technical standpoint, from kind of getting into the weeds of it, I'm not entirely sure because I don't know what was the situation in the race and everything. I'll say this, from a visual standpoint, it was fucking awesome. It was awesome because you have the 5 wide, the 3 in the front, 2 in the back, going around turn 14, and that's the one other bank turn on the track.
And on that
loved it.
Start finish straight in front of that crowd. Yeah, that was it. Visually, that was exciting to see. And the fact that they all came out of there clean, easily someone could have made contact and all 5 of them would have been wiped out.
Would have been done. Yeah.
Easily, because they were so close.
Yeah.
I do feel I don't know if K-Mag was having an issue or he was just that slow because the video from K-Mag's onboard, he just gets swarmed. This is what I was going to bring
up, yeah.
So I don't
see them just come up on both sides, and then
it's just
in the
easy.
back.
It was he backed off or something. So I don't know if he was having an issue or they just decided. It was they were all on radios to each other, just go.
Yeah, I wonder if he almost too not backed off, but saw the 4 of them coming and saw how much speed they were carrying and was I'm not going to try to endanger myself and fight this, so that's why it was such an easy pass for all of them. But yeah, visually it looked fucking awesome. I loved it.
Yeah. You know what it reminded me of in Cars when the tricked out like cars at night come around Mac
Yes.
on the highway.
They surround them.
Blasting the music. That's what it reminded me of. But yes, moving on to our always gives us good questions.
Always.
Frey, which the race is in her home country this weekend. Is Alpine a good car or not? Did Gasly do a miracle race, or is Ocon not driving well enough? Because Gasly did finish in the points again.
Where did he finish? What was his final position? Was he 8th?
I think Gasly is literally the only reason they have points.
Race results. Pierre Gasly finished 9th. Easy answer is Alpine a good car? No.
No.
we have enough evidence of them driving that car where we know it's not a good car. Did Gasly pull off a miracle? I don't think so. We've seen them finish in the points before. So for him to get 9th, it's almost like kind of like, all right, we've seen you do that before. You know, that's kind of what we expect out of you. The thing about Ocon is an interesting point to bring up, just because I'm reminded of his radio where he's pulling into the pits and he's saying like something is wrong with his car. Like,
he wasn't happy all weekend.
Yeah, and he's like, this hasn't been right since Friday, like all this stuff and everything. And his engineer gets on the radio and is pretty much, in a lighter way, being like, all right, shut up. Like everything looks good on our end. And he literally says, and it's kind of sad to hear him say it. Like, he's like, please listen to me. Like,
he's in a tough spot, Ocon, too, because how much they're probably not telling him much anymore.
Right.
But he's the one driving the car, so if something did feel wrong, I wouldn't doubt him to be like, I mean, at the end of the day, he's still ready. He's not giving up. Like, yes, he has a seat for next year, a different team, but he's not just giving up. So I agree with you that Alpine is not a good car.
We've seen enough. Like I said, we've seen enough evidence and enough races so far that we know it's not a good car.
Yeah, it's not. But I do think Gasly did have a nice race. I mean, he had some decent moves.
Yeah.
I think Gasly had a better race than Ocon obviously did. So, But yeah, that would be. This question from Hells.
I saw this.
It's kind of. I mean, we talked about it already. Their question was, is Logan gone before Monza or just after?
I'm going to go with the before.
I'm going to put some money on it and say Logan is going to be gone before Monza. He will be gone Tuesday, August 27th. 27th.
At
he will be gone.
2:30 p.m.
Yeah, he will be gone. Yes, I did not remember that was I didn't remember that was their question. Okay. Now before we go on to David's question, I'm going to give you, we have our very longtime friend of the show, Linus, sent me a question over on Instagram. So I'm going to ask you Linus's question.
Okay.
So this is their question. Who will win this weekend? And why won't it be Max or the McLarens?
Oh, fuck. Damn it.
He said, I'm very intrigued to see how Owen answers this.
Who's going to win this weekend, and why won't it be Max or the McLarens?
But then he says he also looks forward to you giving your actual predictions and knowing that you're going with Lando. But yeah,
Well, I mean, I'll spoil something now. After this past weekend, Lando's performance, I'm going with Lando again for a Monza win.
But take that out. Like, hypothetically, who wins this weekend, and why won't it be Max or the McLarens? I have an easy answer if you want me to go first.
I have an easy answer too. I think we're gonna have the same answer. I'm interested to hear our reasoning though, because it will be similar. So I'm gonna go. It's gonna be one of the Ferraris.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that, and I'm strictly pulling the home field advantage.
Yeah.
Move. I'm gonna pull that card. Specifically, I'm just thinking of like my own situations where I've been in like a competition and I'm at like home field or like even watching like the Phillies play at like Citizens Bank Park and like during playoffs with how nuts that gets. and how much the players
feed off of it.
Feed off of that energy. That's why I'm going with one of the Ferraris.
Okay. I'm also going with one of the Ferraris. And they both had stellar races this past weekend. So I can't even tell you which Ferrari. I just think one of the Ferraris is going to win. Same thing. They both say every year they feed the Tifosi energy. Like they can feel it in the car. They can hear it in the car while they're racing. To be up on that podium as a Ferrari driver with Tifosi is just unreal.
It's gotta be such a surreal feeling.
So I do have hopes that they're bringing upgrades. We don't know what they're going to consist of, what they're going to look like. If obviously they're going to work well. If they work well, and they both have a race like they did last weekend, and they're up there. Charles is defending Oscar again, but can get a little bit closer to Max. Yeah, I think if they don't win, they're making it on the podium. If we got a Ferrari 1-2 on the podium, but that's kind of giving my
Monza's
prediction
burning
earlier.
Down if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Burning down. And last but not least, David. Nice. The owner of a nice new little McLaren hat. With Ferrari bringing special livery this weekend, what are your dream special livery ideas? And what have been your favorite special liveries so far? So I want to do this one last and tag you because I knew you would need to think about this one.
My favorite, favorite's kind of an easy answer, actually.
I have two favorites.
Stealth. Oh, shit. I might have two. I might have three. Fuck. All right. Definitely the Stealth livery from McLaren last year. That was so nice. And then I'll pick the Triple Crown Monaco livery.
Yeah, that one's nice.
That McLaren had too. I love the history behind that. I love the heritage that they were kind of, playing at.
Mm-hmm.
My dream livery, what that would be?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the nerd route here, and I'm gonna say something Flash design.
Okay.
Because I feel like obviously speed fits with the sport and everything, and he's one of my favorites. And it's just having something almost like Ferrari, where it's it's obviously red and yellow and everything, but you can get really creative with the colors. And I would love to see something along those lines. Maybe I'll have to ask ChatGPT to make one of those for me or something.
Okay.
So I can see.
So you can see what it looks like.
I wonder if I can ask him right now. Go ahead. All right, give your answer.
Okay, so I have three special liveries so far. So I'm going to say also because, the whole lead up to it, the V-Carb Miami one from this year, the reveal of it in that car wash, then seeing it in person on track, that livery was
true.
That livery was very cool to see. The baby blue Williams will forever be one of my favorite liveries. Yeah. I thought you were going to say that one because we love that one. The golf livery.
That one's a good one.
So good. And then to keep the spirit, I do like this one a lot. The yellow Ferrari from 2022. That one, I know that wasn't full yellow, but the full, everything about it, the full race suits, the yellow helmets, they decked out the garage and all the yellow. I love that one. My dream livery ideas, I have two. So if say they're in Miami or if they're in Vegas, Texas, if they did a local sports team livery, it's in Miami, say whatever did a Miami Dolphins livery.
Oh, that would be really nice.
Yeah. If our plan works and something happens here in Philly, if there's an Eagles or a Flyers or a Phillies, Sixers kind of livery, that would be cool to see. I'm also, my second one is kind of like yours, but not. If there was to be another Cars movie, a Lightning McQueen livery.
Oh, yes, that would be so good.
That would be
a really fun one.
That would be, you have the livery right there. What else do you need to change? It's perfect. Mm-hmm. Slap that thing on and drive that car on the track. Yeah, those would be my two faves.
So I asked ChatGPT what a Flash superhero-inspired Formula One car would look like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got everything you would say, you know, red and yellow, lightning bolts, blah, blah, blah. But this is the part that I want to point out because it would be fucking awesome. The driver's suit and helmet could be designed to match the Flash's costume, including similar colors, motifs, providing the full thematic experience. Could you imagine if, like, Charles walked out and his helmet was just, like, designed like the Flash's, like, cow? Oh,
yeah, that's cool.
God, that'd be sweet.
That's cool. Wait, Pierre had a thing with Flash before, but he didn't go all out like that with the helmet.
No, he had a small one. Like, it was like a little, just like tiny little nod. But I mean, like, just like a full on helmet that just like almost like the Deadpool helmet from Esteban this year had just like take the comic book cover, cow, hat, helmet, whatever you want to call it, slap it on an F1 helmet. That's what I want.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like it. That was our last question from the F1Threads Mailbag. We had a lot today, like we said, but we love this segment, so we appreciate having so much. Fun. Yeah. Last but not least, some predictions for Monza, the Temple of Speed. Temple of Speed.
Can I rip mine off real fast, just because I know it in my head?
Yeah, I also know mine. So yeah, go. This is probably the quickest we ever do this.
Lando, Oscar, Charles.
Oh, that was quick.
That's what I mean, think about it. Like I said, I would be more hesitant if I didn't just watch the McLarens win by 22 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the fact, like you're saying, if Oscar could get out of that dirty air and get in the clean air, absolutely would have caught Max. I think we're seeing Lando, Oscar, Charles. That's what I'm going with.
I'm going Delulu a little bit, but I'm also going with full hope. But last time I went full Delulu, who won Monaco?
It worked.
I was standing literally 2 feet from my TV asking Monaco. I'm going Charles, Carlos, Oscar.
Whoa. Okay.
I don't know. I see Max and Lando maybe battling the entire time close to each other.
Okay. You're thinking like an Austria situation?
Yeah. Does that end well?
Yeah.
Does that keep them from being able to gain on the people in front? And they can kind of run away. But yeah, I'm going full Delulu because Ferrari won 2.
Be wild. Oh
on
my God.
Carlos's 30th birthday, that is Sunday, would be wild.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
That is wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Charles, Carlos, Oscar. That's my 1, 2, 3.
I like it.
Yeah. Don't you like how we started this season doing 1, 2, 3, 4? And then as Red Bull
now we're back to doing 1, 2, 3. Because we said we were like, oh, Max is first. We'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, but look at this. Look at this. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
But yes, thank you so much for joining us for episode. Like we said, we'll find out the number next week when we figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be 35, I think, or 36.
35?
We're on 37 was last week.
Casey, we're on episode like 70 something.
Oh, that's.
All right, that's how we're going to close out the episode, everybody. So thank you for tuning in to episode 32 of the F1 Underground show. Apparently, we're brand new at doing this again.
I literally, in my head, could picture 73, but then I was just saying 35.
Oh, dear God.
I need to go to bed. That's what that means. But yes, thank you for joining us for episode, like I said, 74, 75. Last week was 73. We'll be back next week with a Monza race recap. I'm sure some weekly news because, like we said,
there will be more weekly news and whatnot.
See if Kimi Antonelli gets announced this week. But the next week there's nothing before Singapore, and then there's another 4-week break. So we'll be back next week for a Monza recap. Hopefully it's a good one. I have a feeling it's going to be. As always, all of our socials are at the bottom of the screen the entire time. Please give us a follow over on Instagram and Threads, over on Twitter as well. Please give us a follow on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're officially over the 100 mark on Spotify. Woo! So we've made it, people.
Now it's the 50 mark on Apple.
Yeah, there you go. But yes, thank you so much, and we will see you all next week.
See you later, people.